All right. Hi everyone, my name is DemonicRobots and welcome to We Happy Few. If you haven't heard of this game, it is a survival horror game not in the sense of Silent Hill or Resident Evil, but rather a survival game set with a horror setting. So we're going to be playing one of the DLC campaigns today, which is We All Fall Down, and we're going to be following a character named Victoria Bing. Now in this society, it is kind of an Orwellian dystopia where England did not win World War II and therefore Germany took over and some bad things happened. And everybody takes a drug called joy in order to forget those and have happy memories and hallucinations. The problem is everybody's starving to death. So this entire campaign is about Victoria Bing, who is a high member in this society, attempting to get everybody off of their joy in order to make them realize that they're starving to death and just save them. So bit of a, Dark Knight situation here. She's not the hero that they deserve, but she's the hero that they need. So right now, she is experiencing something called joy withdrawal because she was forced off of her own joy because of a character named Ollie Starkey, who you actually play as in the base game. So right now, she's withdrawing from the drug, which is why she has these symptoms. Also, a vomit warning going to be right here. It's only in this beginning little area, and then it doesn't happen anymore. It's not too graphic, but it's kind of nice because it refills our stamina completely. Now, if you've ever seen Dishonored or Mirror's Edge, this game has some very similar mechanics, and there's even going to be a level that a couple of you Mirror's Edge fans are going to recognize and enjoy, but that's where a lot of the inspiration comes from. This game has 3 main DLC campaigns that are very different from the base game itself, and they all have their kind of unique gimmick to it. One of them has a ray gun, one of them has a magical kind of guitar, and then Victoria's is a whip. That whip is something that we're going to use for both combat and for parkour as well. So right now we're heading to a joy booth, which is how joy gets dispensed to the civilians. However, we're not going to take it. We're going to get a cutscene and kind of realize that we need to deal with this. Now, in this society, they really don't like it if you are off your joy. You're called a downer and either forced out or killed. So that is why we are on the run right here. And this is kind of where the parkour section comes in. You're going to be seeing all those, those little red pieces of metal. That kind of guides us around. We also have these rope coils, which is how we can maneuver around with the whip. Story-wise, she's still kind of experiencing some hallucinations, so that's not her actual mother that is a hallucination. We don't really know exactly what has happened to her. It doesn't really tell us because it wants to kind of keep it a bit unknown, since a big theme in this game is memory and trying to remember or misremember things, as well as not really knowing what's going on in the outside world. But right now we're trying to get back to our father, whose name is General Bing, and we're going to try and tell him that, hey, everybody's starving to death, we need to do something about this. And this is kind of the end of the We Happy Few story. So there are a couple of major spoilers, but it doesn't really spoil anything from the main game itself. So if you still want to play this game, you can still watch this and be relatively spoiler free, especially since we're skipping a lot of the cutscenes. Like, we're not even going to be seeing her father, but he's a very prominent figure in the main game itself. So right now we are coming into a military base camp. We're going to press that button, and now we're going to skip the cutscene. So basically what happens is our father says to us that, oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure that it's going to be totally okay. Also, that is very good that we got hit there. We actually want to get hit by that thing because we need to do something called a death warp. A death warp is very similar to what I did in my last run, where we are going to be dying in order to de-aggro a bunch of enemies and to go on to another area. I'm going to run over here to hit that checkpoint, and then I'm going to do a very scary jump. We'll see if I get it. Alright, we got it. Perfect. So that skips a couple of things. I'm going to pick up this contraption. Whoops. I'm going to pick up this contraption. What that does is it's going to allow us to upgrade our character. You could do a lot of different ones. We're going to be doing one that gives us stamina regen, or it causes us to use our whip, basically, for a fight later on. So I'm going to run over here, I'm going to grab another contraption, and then I'm going to grab those healing bombs as well for safety. So normally in this area, I would just rush through and grab a wheel to to open this gate. However, it's very unsafe to do so. This is the first kind of major run killer because these guys will hit you. So normally I would just come over here, grab the wheel from the other side, and then open it up with the enemies kind of coming after me. Usually I would want to take a hit here because we need to be as low health as possible in order to do the death warp quickly. However, it's very, very dangerous, and sometimes they don't want to play along with us. Then I'm going to do... I don't think this is technically an out of bounds. We don't go out of bounds, it's just not the intended way, but that's okay. We're going to grab our third contraption out of the 4 that we need. We're going to skip that cutscene, and we're going to grab these healing bombs. So right now we are heading to Dr. Verloc. He is a scientist who is the one that makes the joy, and she thinks that if she tells us about, or she tells him about the food shortage, he'll be able to help us out. So normally we'd have to fight everybody in this area. However, that's really slow, so I'm gonna let that thing shock me. I'm gonna let these guys hit me if they would do so. And that is going to kill us. Or in this game's universe, not kill us, but we're gonna get promoted. See, nothing bad happened. Victoria just got promoted to regional administrator. But the reason for that is we need to turn off what's called a downer detector, which is that force field right there. However, that's really, really slow. And so normally we want to run through it. Now, if we didn't die right there, we would have to fight every single enemy in that area, including the civilians. And that is really, really slow. So we're not going to do that. We're going to instead death warp, and that allows us to get into here. And it's about 10 to 15 seconds faster than fighting everybody, and a lot safer as well. I'm going to grab that for marathon safety. I'm going to come over here. And now we're trying to sneak in. So the workers are currently rioting because of another character named Sally Boyle getting fired or quitting. So what's going on right now is they are rebelling because they're saying that we want Sally Boyle because she knows how to run the place, and they don't like Dr. Verloc. So we need to do a couple of things here during this unskippable cutscene afterwards. We need to make a jump. We need to turn on the electricity to 2 different areas, and then we need to beat up the really big scary brute dude, because he has the key card to allow the bombies to come inside and take back control of the facility so we can talk to Dr. Verloc. There's a lot of we need to get to somewhere, and we need to do it in a very specific way and get around of some very difficult obstacles.
Verloc will come out of hiding.
In the meantime, we're going to be doing a couple of parkour events right here. We're going to try and do this first jump, and I got it. Awesome. That's called the God jump. It's not too difficult, but it really sucks when you don't get it. Also, when I'm falling, there's usually a fall animation that I'm going to try and avoid by whipping. Even very small falls will give you an animation, so if you see me whipping the air randomly, there's a reason for that. And then right here, I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to set up right. Alright, we got it. Normally, that coil can be very, very awkward to get, so I'm glad that we got it, because otherwise you fall all the way back down and you have to go all the way back up. Right now we're coming up to the second area. We're going to grab that contraption. We're going to use that to skip an animation, and then we're going to get strong arm. So now our whip attacks are going to use less stamina. We're also going to grab these healing bombs. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that lever, wait a second, try and climb up here, and we got it. So normally she has a animation where she kind of gets staggered for a second because she's getting hit by the laser. But because we were vaulting at the same time, we still take the damage of it, but we don't get the animation that causes our character to stagger. We're gonna whip this guy as fast as we possibly can, and to get the key card, we just have to kill him. And then that's going to allow us to open that up, and now the bombies are inside and have taken control of the facility. But don't worry, nothing actually bad happened. This was just a beautification effort. So don't worry about any of the sights that you see around here. This was just a perfectly normal test. Nothing bad happened at all. So now we're going to come right over here. We're going to be meeting up with Dr. V, or Dr. Verloc. We're going to tell him, hey, everybody is starving. You need to do something about it. And he's going to go, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll sort itself out soon. And Victoria does not like that answer. So now she's kind of becoming a fugitive. This is where she loses her high status in the society. And so because of that, now people are going to be very against us. So now we're going to be much more hostile to a variety of different characters. We kind of can sneak around a little bit, but like I said, she's not very well liked anymore, and she's a very noticeable figure, so it's kind of hard for her to exactly blend in if need be.
It's after dark.
But right now we have a situation where it is currently a curfew, and so every single character is going to be very hostile for us. Now we need to open up a wheel. It's very, very dangerous, and I'm going to hopefully do it first try. If not, there's a backup. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to make my way through. Sometimes you can get stuck on that guy. We need to basically move around these bobbies in a very specific way, and I'm going to be very, very careful here, letting my stamina go through. Because we cannot get hit while we're rotating the wheel. If we get hit, then what happens is our character will get interrupted and they won't be able to open it up. And did we get it? Alright, we got it. Awesome. That is very, very dangerous. The only way to have a backup for that, if you get hit there and get interrupted, is to literally die, and then you can kind of get more of a consistent pattern with the bobbies and all that stuff. But now we're going to be going to a Joy facility. Now in this game, there's not really telephone booths because they don't really get outside calls, so it dispenses joy. And what joy does, again, you know, it makes you happy and all that stuff, and it's required from the society. We're going to go destroy the facility that sends out all the different, like, joys to all the different mood booths, so that people can have their joy. And it's like very, very complicated. If you go into the booth in the main game, you kind of can see like it has like a neat little animation with the pipes. There's different flavors. The most popular one by far is strawberry, by the way, in case any of you were wondering. But there's also vanilla and chocolate. So you have a couple of options with your drugs to take. But we're going to continue on. So what we did is we short-circuited the entire facility, and that is going to allow Victoria to cut off the supply of joy from the mood booths, and it's also going to allow us to continue our goal in order to make it so people become downers and can eventually help save themselves from starving to death. We're going to come right over here, and now what happens is they put the joy in the water. So, like every English person, they go, oh, we can't go to the mood booths. Why don't we just go home and make some tea with our water, and then we'll get our joy that way? And now, Victoria realizes this, and she goes, okay, I have to stop this. So now we're heading to the water treatment facility. And this is kind of a calm area because we're not actually going to be aggro to anybody. It's purely just movement and parkour. So if you would like to read out any donations, feel free to do so.
All right, sure thing. My name is Aidgut, by the way, as Robo announced earlier, and I'm taking over for him. And I just wanted to remind everyone that if you want to support us raising some money for us and partner events in these troubled times, you can support us by using your Twitch Prime, for example, to subscribe to our channel, because the first 800 subs to our channel will get matched by HyperX, one of our sponsors. So if you don't have any money but want to support us, you can subscribe with Twitch Prime and get us $5. Another option, of course, is if you don't have that, you can donate to us, and then you have the chance of winning a couple prizes, which you can find by typing !prizes into chat, I think. And if you donate $25, you get an entry into all of our prizes, basically. There's multiple HyperX products in there and a game bundle. So we would really appreciate your support, and now you can continue watching this great run. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Now we are at the Dunkerton Waterworks. This area, I think a lot of you Mirror's Edge fans are going to enjoy because you're going to recognize this area. So we're going to come down into this area, which is kind of like a little backwards way, because obviously nobody really likes Victoria that much anymore. She's kind of lost her royal status in this society, so we need to take the back way. So we're going to come over here. We are going to crouch down through those pipes. Then we're going to make our way into the facility. Now, normally this is kind of a stealth section where you try and figure out exactly where to go, but because we know where we need to go, we can just run through enemies. Enemies will kind of have a status where they'll alert to you, they'll react to you, and then they'll attack you. So during that time, you can run past them because they'll kind of be jumping back and go, oh, hey, you're not supposed to be here. But we can kind of just avoid them by just going fast. And now we are in this area. I'm sure a lot of you Mirror's Edge fans are knowing what I meant by that, but this is also where we're going to be getting the most parkour and the largest fight of the game. Pretty much the only like required fight to do so to get through this, and it's why we needed the stamina upgrade earlier on. So these guys are going to slowly come at us in waves. I'm going to be trying to get through them as fast as possible because it gives you 2 waves, and when you kill one of them, then it spawns in the next wave. So, gonna be just very cautious right here. Let my stamina get back up. The whip is a very weird weapon. Sometimes what happens is like it will attack and you didn't press the button, or it will just do a weird animation where it'll hit 2 people, it'll only hit 1 person. It's very wonky, and you kind of just have to get a feel for it and just kind of learn like what attack will happen next and all that stuff. But thankfully though, we got this brute right here. Hey buddy, how you doing? Just gonna give him a little bit of a stun, and then we are good. So that was the fight right now, and now we are going on to the parkour section. So the room is going to begin filling with water, and what we're going to do is we are going to cut off all the joy that's normally pumped into it. So we're going to press this button. It's not going to work, so Victoria is going to short circuit this. And that is going to cause the pipes to explode, cause the room to fill it with water, and now we have an escape sequence, so to speak. We're going to drop all the way back down onto here, conveniently not landing in the electrified water, because let me tell you, electrified water in video games is always a bad thing. So we're going to be jumping on these. This one's going to always be a little wonky. Now, normally we have to do a complete runaround through that area after taking this elevator, where we have to go through there and there and there and all that stuff. But hey, look, there's a rope coil. You guys know what we can do with those, right? We can latch onto them with our whip. So if I don't mess this up, and we got it. All right, so that skips a good portion of running around down there. And now we can just make our way over this way. We're gonna jump right here, grab this one, and we are out of the water treatment facility, which went very, very well. Gonna grab that healing bomb for safety. And now, basically, she wants to kind of get out of this area. So she's trying to go home and lay low, let everybody kind of get the joy out of their system. You know, sit back, have a pint, and wait for all of this to blow over, so to speak. But we have to run through everything. This area is actually pretty safe, so in the meantime, we have time for maybe 1 or 2 quick donations if you'd like.
Sure thing. You got me a little off guard there.
Sorry about that.
No problem. But yeah, we're not getting any right now, but that is okay. If you guys do want to support us though, that would be great, because we're doing this event here to help everyone in these pandemic times. So we're all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us are forced to stay at home and maybe have a little too much free time on our hands. So, you know, why not stay in and watch a little speedruns with your friends and your family, maybe even, you know, can get your family started watching ESA, who knows. And if you enjoy it and you can afford it, please consider donating. Thank you.
Okay, so now what happened is Victoria got caught by the bombies on her way back to her house, so we were thrown in jail. This is where the Dishonored inspiration comes in, and we're gonna jump over here. So now we don't have our whip or any of our items, including our dart gun, which is that little zappy thing that I've been using. So we need to grab our supplies, and then we can get out of here. Now, basically, Victoria has kind of realized that the only possible way that we're going to be able to cut off the joy truly and make it so people can start, you know, saving themselves is by destroying the joy treatment facility, which is the area that we were in earlier. So that was with Dr. Verloc, where we had to do all the jumping around and turning on the wires and stuff like that. So we're going to be making our way back there. Going to grab this safe. That's going to have all of our stuff in it. And then we're going to crawl back through over here. Now, normally this game spawns in a bunch of guys and brand new red bobbies who are much more dangerous. However, we're just going to ignore them. Excuse me, buddy. Just going to be making my way through. Gonna hit that. Gonna hit that. And now we are going to be able to escape. So I'm going to grab that coil. There we go. We're still not out of the woods yet, but we are out of the main prison area. So we'll grab this ladder right here. We are kind of coming up to one of the more dangerous areas in the run. I call this Plague Alley. After we escape the prison fully, there's an alley where there's a bunch of plague victims, which are the most dangerous enemies in this game. Mostly due to the fact that when we run past enemies, you've been kind of seeing them, but they kind of react to Victoria before they actually start attacking her. I might get shocked here, but that's okay if I do. No, we didn't. We're good. So if we get shocked, it's not that big of a deal, but it's very annoying. But when we're running past enemies, they blow the whistle, they react, and then they alert. Plague victims will immediately hit us. They will immediately be aggro to us, so they'll just literally spin around and hit me. So to avoid that, I'm going to have to basically take a bit of a different pathing and be a little bit more careful with what I do, hence why I am healing up right here. Like you'll see right here, I'm going to whip this one out of the way, otherwise she might hit us the moment we run into her. I'm going to take this way out, like see right there, we ran past and they still were managed to hit us. So I'm going to continue moving forward. These guys are very dangerous. The main kind of gimmick is that because they are melee only and they don't have the best AI, that's kind of like what balances them out, but they will immediately attack us most of the time if we are not careful with our pathing like that. But we should be golden right now. So we talked to Johnny Bolton during the prison. He was one of the guys that we got the zappy gun from, and he's kind of admits to us that he doesn't like us very much, so he planted explosives in our house, which I don't like, but Victoria is one of those people that kind of just forgives and forgets. So we're going to go grab those explosives because that's going to allow us to actually destroy the droid treatment facility instead of our house, because we have a very nice house, you know, and we want to make sure we take care of it. Unfortunately, because she kind of lost her place in society, it's a bit ransacked, you know. She's doing a little bit of spring cleaning like we all need to do. We're going to skip that cutscene. We're going to jump right here, open up that shutter first. I'm going to reload this just for safety. Going to jump down here. We're going to grab one, knock that guy away. Going to grab two. Going to knock that guy away. Going to knock that guy away, and we are out of there. So now we have the explosives. We need to get these safe house plans from Johnny Bolton's place, which will tell us like the best way to plant the bombs in order to destroy the droid treatment facility, because he was also going to do that too. He's a bit of a rebel, Johnny Bolton. And we're going to be coming up to a pretty cool looking area. It's not too difficult. We can get a skip though, that kind of called window skip. When we open shutters in this game and open windows, we can vault through them immediately. We don't need to like wait for any kind of specific animation. So we're going to tap that and press E and W or space at the same time, and that lets us vault through the window without getting shocked. If we don't do that like that fast, then we will get hit by there and she'll get like a stun animation, which isn't good. So we're back at the treatment facility. We're going to be running kind of a specific way in hopes of not getting hit or get spotted. We're going to shoot that thing. Okay, so this game can kind of soft lock right here. I do have a backup save for it if it does. So I'm going to be very careful and pray to RNG that we don't get soft locked. All right, we are good. That was the thing that I was the most nervous about for this entire run, so I'm very glad that didn't happen. But now we are in the Joy facility. This is the only enemy that we're going to use the zap gun on, because otherwise he'll interrupt us when we're trying to place the explosive there. We're going to do that one. We are going to do this one. I'm going to jump up here. I'm going to heal for safety, just in case. You never know. Then we're going to come over here and place this explosive. Now that they are all on, we're going to be escaping from this because we are blowing up the entire facility. And so now we need to get out of here. We have a timer. We're almost at the end. We're going to jump right up here. Unfortunately, the front door is just completely messed up. But we have a couple of other options in order to get around these things. We're coming up right here. Going to vault up. Right over here. And again, this is very, very fun. I'm trying to be very careful with my movement because there are a bunch of like invisible ways that you can kind of bonk on things, or, you know, not catch the coil, or if you grab the coil at the wrong angle, you'll grab the coil, go up to it, and then it just straight up will drop you back down to the ground. So I'm going to try and not have that happen here. If we do fall in this upcoming area, it's not a big deal. It's very much like Zelda, where we'll fall and respawn back up without technically dying. I think it gives us a little bit of damage if we do so. But now we need to escape on the outer part of it. So we're going to grab this coil. Going to run over here. Going to do a blind jump to grab that coil. Always works. Definitely have never failed that on world record pace. Going to grab this coil. And we are almost out of this facility. Gonna be heading up here, and as you can see, everything is getting destroyed. I don't really know how destroying those vents causes all this, but again, I'm not a scientist. I have no idea about how buildings or engineering or drug creation works. But now we're gonna come up to the very last really cool jump. Gonna jump down here, and are we gonna get it? Oh no, I missed up the jump. That's okay though. Normally it wants us to take that elevator, but instead that's not cool. So we're gonna do this. I'm not gonna mess it up again. There we go. All right. And now we have escaped the Joy facility. We get a cool little explosion, and now we are at the end. This is very much like the Dark Knight, where we kind of realize that we've caused a lot of problems, but it's kind of that argument of, is it worth all this chaos to have freedom and to be able to stay alive and work independently? It's very good, very Orwellian and dystopian, and the game is very, very fun. I want to give a quick 2 shout-outs to Egdices and also Mr. Monkey before we end. Those guys are great, and time is going to be coming up right when we hit exit here, so right now. And that was We Happy Few. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a lot more about this game. There's a base game that you can check out, which has a lot more survival aspects of open world and crafting. There's 2 other great DLCs involving aliens and robots and magical guitars and Austin Powers. So if you guys want to check it out, feel free to do so. But my name is Demonic, and thank you so much for having me. I hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you guys soon.
If you have a quick second before you leave, I have one donation for you.
Oh, of course.
Leaning Lazarus, donating $10. Thank you so much. And saying, Demonic Robots, huh? I guess he chose that name because he runs like a machine. Hey, oh, great event and runners. Thank you, ESA and runners. And thank you, runners. And thank you, Demonic Robots. That was a great run.
Of course. Thank you very much.
But I saved them. They may.
And I guess that means we'll go to the intermission, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.